Kia ora. So it's an absolute pleasure to be here. I've got 4 guests in front of me, and I'm going to get each person to introduce themselves. Ko Linda Hera Chanwaiol, taku ingoa. Ko Pākehā me Hainamana o ko iwi. I am half Chinese, half Pākehā, and facilitating this inaugural Renegade Radio sessions, which is incredibly exciting. To my left, the first guest is, please introduce yourself.
Ni hao, my name's Linda Lim. I guess working in the arts, we all have many, many hats. So I come here today with 2 hats on. I'm one of the founders of Asian Events Trust, who organise Wellington's Chinese New Year Festival. We're coming up to 20 years with that. It really just simply started. We were just 3 mothers who had children that went to the Chinese preschool. So there was a lot of culture in there as well. And so obviously, Chinese New Year being one of the major cultural festivals, we would always talk about that, show them pictures, play songs. And one day we just sort of thought to ourselves, well, actually, instead of talking about them and showing pictures of what happens overseas, it would be kind of cool if we had something here in Wellington that they could actually be a part of. So myself and Jill Ford, we were actually at a swimming pool, and Jill Ford, she's a lady from the UK, so not Chinese at all. Jill, who was involved in events, had been offered by Wellington City Council, whose Summer City program was just being developed, and asked if they wanted a Chinese New Year festival or an Asian, some kind of Chinese content in there. So we had till 5 o'clock to decide whether we would do this. And if we did, then they would provide some umbrella marketing support. So
no pressure?
No. So we just thought, oh, well, what the hell, how hard could it be, really, Yeah, we just did this thing in the corner of Courtney Place. Wellington pulled out this amazing day, which I think really helped our cause. But all it was just a few floats that came down from Molly Malone's corner down to a stage outside Calzone. And it was just amazing because, there was just sort of a small group of 50 of us who thought, oh, well, we'll just do this for our kids. But, man, Wellington just really came out for it, and the streets on both sides of Lambton Quay was just lined with people. What really almost brought a tear to my eye was to sort of see older Chinese, my mother included, sort of out there, really proud, to celebrate their culture, because up to that point it was really only celebrated behind closed doors, if at all. And for myself, who was born here, growing up, never really celebrated Chinese New Year at all, to be perfectly honest,
Kia ora tātou, ko Ati te pāhau no roto o Tūhoe. Minari kai Pōneke au e noho ana. Kia ora, I'm Ati Tepa, I'm from Tūhoe. I live down here in Wellington. Creative, and I work as the Senior Kaupapa Māori Advisor up at Massey, and also part of helping facilitate some of the events during the Aotearoa Asian Arts Hui. Part of my role here is helping to facilitate one of the events for the AAAH 18 Hui that we've called Chur, and it's going to be held at Big Thumb Restaurant on Allen Street on the 20th. Also part of a art collective called the Carver Club, and we host a monthly gathering called the Chop Suey Hui. And we thought, it's kind of like just a place where people can come, eat chop suey, but also come and we theme every month. So we invite creative folk in, we invite activists, we invite academics, so we just invite really interesting people doing cool stuff. We bring people together around food to discuss often difficult things for Polynesians, and especially I think just for all humans, to discuss things around sexuality, things around food sovereignty, things around cultural appropriation and all these things.
Identity politics,
all of that
this
stuff.
Sort of stuff.
Yeah, so we try and provide I hate saying the words, but they say safe spaces for really awkward conversations, but we want to make dangerous spaces for extra dangerous conversations.
I love
just to
the sound
really
of that.
push those boundaries,
Yes.
off, because safe is good, but I think dangerous is more exciting.
my name is David Kim. I've just kind of recently just moved here to Wellington 2 years ago. My main job, I do work in financial services, but on the side, I organize dance events or any kind of art events that we can kind of facilitate. So I've been doing that for around 8 to 9 years, and I've been an active member of the New Zealand breaking scene or breakdancing scene for now close to 10 years. But for me, I really kind of connected with my kind of Korean side through breaking. So the first crew that I used to hang out with, or the ones that taught me, were of all Korean breakdancing crew, Supreme Kids back at the time. And yeah, they were the ones that kind of taught me, like Korean etiquette, a little bit of history behind even Korean history itself, and Korean hip hop history. So it was a lot of good influence in terms of like the dancing. So I'm always about giving back to that dancing. The basic concept of Fist of Fury is a all-style battle event. So you can bring any of your styles and the DJ will play whatever music, and then it's a battle. And obviously with my own personal culture breaking, we also decided to add that as well. And we've been doing it. This is our third and unfortunately the last one for the Fist of Fury trilogy. So we're hoping it'll kind of make a big impact as well.
Kia ora ni hauma. My name is Lisa Young and I'm a New Zealand-born Chinese. In my daytime job, I'm involved in the education sector. However, in my spare time, I've been involved in a project alongside Susan Zoll, interviewing the stories of Chinese New Zealanders. And the stories have been primarily descendants of the Chinese who came to New Zealand in the gold mining period, and also some of the recent migrants too. And yeah, because what
do we mean by Chinese?
What do we mean by Chinese? A lot of people think Chinese, or they think Asian. As you know, there's a number of Asian or Chinese. So we talked about that. We talked about the medium of how we were going to conduct the interviews, because the challenge is a lot of the older descendants that we were looking at only speak Chinese or Cantonese. So that was another challenge. So there was a lot of thought and preparation considered, and we did agree on the medium of English, because if we wanted to tell the stories and we wanted to reach the mainstream, then English was the medium to use. So we agreed on that. Yeah, it's been a really eye-opening experience. It's been a wonderful way of being able to connect with members of the Chinese community and to hear their stories. Ideally, we wanted the older generation, because their stories have been so rich. And the thing that's really resonated with me is the fact that people have been open to telling these stories, which is quite a personal thing to do. And also the fact that the wider families have been able to find out more about the older generation and their stories, because a lot of the time, I'm sure you're aware, sometimes the older generation don't want to talk about things particularly painful or experiences that have occurred in the past. So it's been quite an eye-opening experience for people to do that.